The next session is registering hospitals as transplant center, and Trilly is Director of Operations India and Middle East, Alliance for Paired Kidney Donation, and I have known Trilly for the last 15 years. We started together at Medanta, and I am still in Mohan Foundation, and Trilly has shifted many hospitals, and finally now she's reached this stage. But she is the most experienced living transplant coordinator. I can guarantee you. Please, I don't know whether she has shared her link in the presentation. Do read her paper, Deceit and Deception in Living Transplant. It's a very, very eye-opening paper. It's there in IJOT. Okay, over to you, Trilly.
Thank you, Dr. Maneet. So this time I've got a very different topic rather than the usual times. So I'll be, sorry. So I'll be discussing on registering and renewing hospital as a transplant center. So before, we have spoken a lot about how to document, how to be an ethical center, legally perfect and everything. But before all of this thing, we have to register our hospital as a transplant center, which is the most important thing. As a transplant coordinator, how many of you have worked individually to register their transplant center? Just raise the hand. Okay, not even 50%. So rest of them, either the administrators work for that or somebody else worked, right? Yeah. So, so it's registering a transplant center is much more than a formality. It's not just like कागज भर दिया और आपने जमा कर दिया PGIMS रोहतक में या wherever the state appropriate authority is, or फिर you got a license in your hand. So you have to really work hard behind this. So there's a rigorous step, there's a multi-step process which is as per the Human Organ Transplantation Act 1994 and as per the Amended Act 2011, which you are following the rule as the Human Organ and Tissue Transplantation Rules 2014. I think all of us in this room would be following that 2014, right? Except Karnataka. Karnataka started following? Okay. So all of us will following 2014 rules. So why am I saying this? That we might be following 2014 rules? Because health is a state subject, and once the law is amended, it is left to the state whether they want to adopt it or not. So certain states have adopted, certain have not adopted 2014 rules. State like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, they were following 1994 till recent times, and Telangana has got their own law, Jammu and Kashmir has got their own law, okay? So, and the hospital must meet stringent requirement for the infrastructure, trained personnel, operational protocol to prove their readiness to perform organ transplant, which is the most important thing. And they should demonstrate that they are legally, ethically, and medically compliant. So when you apply for a license, this is the essential requirement which a hospital should have. You should have a qualified and experienced medical team, which consists of physicians and surgeons. And next important person is a transplant coordinator. As per the amended law 2011, the rules 2014, transplant coordinator is mandate to apply for a transplant center. If the transplant coordinator is not there in a transplant center, the license can get cancelled, okay? And then you need to have a hospital committee to check the regulation and compliances on transplant, and you need to have a well-defined SOP with regard to the disease donor transplant and the living donor transplant. Brain death committee, some appropriate authority asks that when you apply, do you have a brain death committee? Why is that asking? There are two sources of getting organs. One is brain death, after brain death. The other one is the living donation. So when you are registering for a hospital transplant license, you need to either you can apply for brain death committee simultaneously, or you can apply earlier and keep things ready. Okay? So how to register a hospital as a transplant center? There is a form in the law that's form number 12 as per rules 2014. That's an application for registration and renewal also. The same form is used for registration as well as first time registration as well as the renewal to conduct an organ or tissue transplantation. But this is not applicable for eye donation, eye transplantation. For eye transplantation or eye banking, the form number 15 is used as the application. So this is the form. It's a very detailed form. Every line you have to fill it, and every line you need to make sure that if it is not able, you are not able to make it, fill it, then you need to have a supporting annexure to that. Like you have a surgical facilities. Surgical facilities, number of beds, you need to have annexure that floor number 1, how many beds, floor number 2, how many beds, general category, how many beds, individual single bed, how many beds are there. So all for the surgical facility. Same with the medical facilities also you need to show. Then how many temporary staffs are there? Who is the temporary staff? The visiting doctor. So how many visiting doctors are there? How many permanent doctors are there? So you need to have a separate annexures for all this. And you need to specify that who are their transplant surgeons in the surgical facility, who are trained the transplant surgeons. And how many, in the medical facilities you need to mention that how many trained transplant physicians are there. So all these things you need to mention. And same with anesthesia, you need to mention that how many transplants you do per year. That's to see that what is the experience of your anesthetist in your hospital and how well you can manage, your hospital can manage the scenarios. And as well as you need to mention very clearly how many emergency OTs are there. If there are 2 emergency OTs, mention that there are 2, and bracket, mention that OT number 1, OT number 5, whatever it is. And also you need to mention how many separate OTs you have it for your organ transplant. So when you make sure that when you identify organ transplant OT, make sure that preferably you go for an interconnected OT, so that the organ is not exposed outside. From one OT to another OT, you can interconnect, there is an interconnection. If there is no facility like that, then make sure that your labeled OT is somewhere in the area, in some corner where less traffic is there, and near to the scrub station. Okay, so all these things, small things which you have to manage, market, and then you need to label those OT as organ transplant OT. Okay, so that's very important. And also the anesthetic equipments, the name of the equipment and how many numbers are there in that equipment, because they need to see that how well equipped your hospital is to handle the emergency. Okay. And what is your ICU facilities, how many bed ICU? So you need to mention that surgical ICU these many bed, medical ICU these many bed, CCU this bed, CT ICU this bed, pediatric ICU, so transplant ICU. So everything you need to mention. Everything you need to mention in your entire hospital, and how many trained nurses are there, technicians are there, all these annexures should be there. So each topic, each point is becoming an annexure for this. So it will become a big MOTA file, okay? And other supportive facilities like you need to have laboratory facility. Many of the hospitals won't be doing, even though you have a laboratory facility, you won't be doing all the tests in your in-house, okay? So what you have to do is that you need to have an MOU with that lab. So suppose you are in Maringo Asia Hospital, and your hospital doesn't do all the transplant, and then you have tied up with Lalpath, Metropolis, multiple labs. But then you need to have MOU with all the labs. Okay, and same with the HLA facility. You won't, everyone is will not be having HLA facility, DNA facility or HLA facility or cross-match facility inside. So you need to have an MOU with the HLA lab. And imaging facilities, your imaging facilities data, you need, again, they are asking for your permanent staff, temporary staff, equipments and their numbers and all those things. But there might be some test which you, diagnosis test, which you won't be doing inside, then you need to have an MOU with them. So make sure that as a transplant coordinator, from this, all this perspective, you need to have answer in your fingertips. Okay? And then blood bank, it's not, definitely you should have an access to the blood bank when you're going for a transplant, registering a transplant center. But it is not necessary that you should have an in-house blood bank. If you do not have an in-house blood bank, make sure that you have adequate access to the blood bank, and you should have MOU with that. Okay, there are hospitals, small hospitals where they would be doing transplants, but they won't be having access to the blood bank. Yeah. And transplant coordinators, how many numbers are there? How many are trained? What do you mean by trained transplant coordinator as per the law? How many of you have got NOTO registration number in this hall? Rest don't have it? Okay. So this is one thing which they ask when they come for the inspection, that do you have NOTO registration number? So the persons who do not have NOTO registration number, make sure that when you get when next NOTO training program happens, make sure that you attend that program, write the exam, and seek the registration number. That's very important. And then you need to see that all the supporting facility doctors are there or not, nephrologist, neurologist, neurosurgeon, urologist, all the supportive patients, doctors are there or not. So you might be wondering that why nephrologist, gastroenterologist name is written, they are asking for, because when you are applying for kidney transplant, definitely nephrologists are there, right? See, law doesn't say about the physician in the act. The law only mentions about the experience of the surgeon. That's the reason they ask for all these things. Okay? And not all the urologists are transplant surgeons. So, as per the law, what is the requirement of a transplant surgeon? It's MS general surgery plus experience in transplant, right? So not all the urologists are transplant surgeons. Yeah. So this is how, so this is the basic form, but all these points and sub-points would become an annexure. And this has to be signed by your head of the institution. Now how to apply this? So only with this is a basic structure which I have told you earlier. So now along with that form 12, you need to have a covering letter which is on your letterhead of the hospital, which is signed by the medical superintendent or medical director of the hospital. And for the organ transplantation and tissue transplantation, except cornea, you need to fill form number 12 and form number 15 for the cornea transplant. And a DD of 10,000 rupees payable to the director appropriate authority, that you need to, this I have written at broad terminology, but you need to identify from your appropriate authority payable to whom. So basically you need to do that. In Delhi it is Director GNCT, right? So PGIMS it is Director Appropriate Authority PGIMS. Then hospital registration license. Your hospital would be having a clinical establishment license. So that you need to have along with this. And the supporting documents. Which are these supporting documents? All these annexures which you have prepared to complete form number 12. Those are the supporting documents. And apart from that, in your supporting documents, you need to have the documents of all your transplant team, like doctors, their MBBS, MD or MS, MCH or DNB or DM or whatever it is, and their valid registration, medical registration. For the nurses, again, their BSc nursing or general nursing or experience, and then nursing registration. Transplant coordinator, your basic qualification, and with your NOTO registration certificate. So, and your experiences. So, all these documents should go along with that, just for the transplant core team, not the entire hospital's documents should be there. Okay? So, when you apply for a hospital transplant license, based on your application, the appropriate authority will form a committee. It may be consisting of 2 or 3 people. They would visit your hospital and they would see whether whatever you have applied is actually present in your hospital or not. So, these are the general points which you need to make sure. This is very well written in the law. Has anyone read this in the law? How many of you read this in the law? Madam, you are exceptional. How many of you read this in the law? Nobody. Good, 1, 2, yeah. So at least 2 of you have read, thank God. So 24 hours medical facility, surgical availability, nursing staff availability, ICU facility, and equipment facility, everything should be there. Blood bank, if it is in-house, 24/7 it should be working. Otherwise, you should have an access to the blood bank 24/7. So make sure when you make an MOU with the blood bank, it should not be that, madam, हम 9 से 5 ही काम करते हैं, उसके बाद हमारा blood bank बंद है. Don't tie up with them. Tie up with the 24/7 blood bank. Okay, and operation theatre facility with adequate staff, support system, equipment, and where you can handle emergency procedures. So you have to be very, very careful with those things. Communication system should be very much clear. You should have telephone, public telephone systems, computers, all those things, a photocopy machine, everything should be there. HLA facility, if you don't have an HLA facility, then MOU with the HLA facility. Laboratory facility, if you don't have a lab, then MOU with the lab, but you should have access 24/7 with all these facilities, so that any emergency comes up, you are ready to meet. So all these things should be there when they come for the inspection. And equipments, your biomedical engineering department should be well equipped with all the spare parts, equipments required, or technical support or maintenance support, whatever it is. So they should be well equipped with that. Experts, on the day of inspection, the core team should be present. That's very, very important. It cannot be that you have agreed for the committee to visit the vicinity facility and your transplant surgeon is out of town for some conference. It cannot be like that. So make sure that the day you call the committee members, your transplant surgeon, your transplant physician, transplant coordinator, nurses, everyone is in place. And when they come, make sure that you set up the hospital in a way that you are just going to take a transplant patient. All your equipments, all your OT, everyone should be present. And you also need to earmark your post-operative ward and pre-op ward in your hospital, because they can ask all these things. So I have covered all these points now. Cleanliness is very important, and moreover, there's a team coming to your hospital. Hospitality is also very, very important. So once they agree with all this, your approval will be granted on form number 16, which is just valid for 5 years. So once you get the registration, that doesn't mean that you can do anything and everything. From there, your compliance is very important. Compliance and regulatory obligations is very, very important. Make sure that you follow all the guidelines as per the law. And NOTO registration, once you register the hospital, you need to register the hospital with the NOTO, and you need to send daily data, monthly data, and you need to register your patient and donor in the NOTO's website. And all the retrieval documentation should be done properly, and whatever the authorization committee's results is, or the competent authority's result is, it should be transparently displayed on the website within 24 hours. Okay, so don't take it very lightly, whether it is approved, rejected, deferred, pending, the status has to be uploaded on the website within 24 hours, and you also need to maintain a data sheet in your hospital. This the form number 16 license, first registration license or any registration is just valid for 5 years. Make sure that you reapply again on form number 12 prior to 3 months, so that they get adequate time and your license does not get cancelled or hampered, so that you can continue with your work. And re-registration, you have to apply with a DD of 5,000 rupees, and again payable to director appropriate authority, and the renewal is given on form number 17. So this is all about. Any questions?
Any questions for Trilly? Although we don't have time. Okay, thank you so much. I would request Dr. Gupta, is he present here, Dr. P.N. Gupta, to please felicitate Trilly.